Manchester City?
You judge the results. We saw during the years our level. We are not at our level. We won, we are so happy, it will help us. You judge results. Our performance was not good. So when we play good, we know when we play good. I'm so happy for the guys. We work ethic, we work. The first minutes, they deserved to be 0-1 or 0-2. We were lucky in the first goal. And we are a strong team because we run a lot, and with the ball, we were the composer, and now we don't have it. But of course, very pleased for the result, but you cannot touch me. Is all Manchester City's back? Because if you see the game, it's not. Because you saw many times during 8 years what we have done with the opponents.
Richard?
Hi, Pep. Another week where Savinho's turned in a really impressive performance for you. Just wondering, A, what you made of it, but also setting up goals for Erling. Is that a new supply line?
Yeah. I think he's cleaning his mind. He doesn't think, nothing in his head for the past. Normally when you are many years here, the players think that they deserve something special, what they have done, and that is a big mistake. A big mistake. They have to prove it again and again and again and again. And Savinho have to everything to win, to prove. And of course, having a left foot in the left side, like old-fashioned, old vintage football, that right in the right, left in the left. Of course, this kind of crosses helps a striker like we have. So last second goal in Leicester, today have a 2 or 3. And have this sense of aggressivity. Yeah, we are. Of course, he has a lot to improve, but he's not aggressive enough without the ball in terms of run not, but it's a little bit soft in many departments. But right now, have something special and brilliant that helps us a lot to the team, because he scored a goal, a little bit lucky, but after the 2 assists are brilliant. The second and the third are really, really good. I'm so happy for him. And he deserves to play.
Hi, Pep. To my amateurish eyes, you seem to be very open at the back whenever teams attack you. Is that a fair comment? And
Sorry?
You seem very open at the back whenever a team attacks you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of holes in the middle. Is that a fair sort of comment? And if so, how do you solve it?
No, when we attack quick, the opponent attack quicker. So we have to make a build-up, drop them, and after make 2,000 million passes, and we don't do it. We don't pass the ball. That's why we suffer. And we lose the ball so easy, and that's why they can run. If you drop them and we pass the ball and go, how many times go left, go right, back, go left? No, we really want to finish. And the opponents are good. And when that happens, we are miles distance.
Why is that? Why is that happening?
Because we need to find our tempo and our, and the quality of the players and our tempo. It's not a read what happened. Our build-up today was quicker, was easier. We adjust something, was much, much better in the past. Even Leicester that we struggled to drop them. Today, Josko was brilliant. But after that, we have to pass the ball. In football, you have to run when we don't have the ball. When you have the ball, you have to pass the ball. We cannot run with the ball, you have to pass. And after, when this happens, the players up front, left field, like Savinho, like Jeremy, like the players with talent, make after the action. So, and that's why we make a transitions, and that's why we struggle. So, and it's not just about because we don't have Rodri. Of course, Rodri isn't irreplaceable, but it's not about that. It's our game still is so. Everything want to be quick. You want to win 4-0 after 20 minutes. No, that football has not happened today. You have to take time, relax, have the control in our hands through the ball. So we are not built the teams like many teams in England, like their physicality is stronger than us. Have been, in every season, have been stronger than us in terms of physicality. But we let them run because with the ball we play better. And now with the ball, run the team, of course run. More than ever. When you play in that way, we run more than ever. But it's not about that. I think that's why we had success, and now we have to recover that.
Before the game, he was saying, take it step by step. How big a step was that result and performance this afternoon?
It's a little step. I think there were moments we played good, some moments we played a little bit less, but I think it was much better than against Leicester. I think in the end we lost a bit of energy, but there was some improvement, so that's all right.
You say in the end losing a little bit of energy. It was a little bit nervous, wasn't it, towards the end, the way that West Ham, once they'd scored their goal, it did sort of affect the crowd.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I can understand that we are not up to the level, but they should supporting us. The effort is there 100%, and we're still winning 4-1. So I don't understand what is happening. It's not like they created a lot of chances either. So it's what it is. The team give maximum effort. The level has to be higher, but we understand that.
Is it a good feeling scoring 4? It hasn't happened a lot this season. It's kind of what City fans and we all got so used to seeing.
Yeah, but I think we understand, a little bit more what we have done the last, I have to say, 10 years for us. How hard it is, and we in this moment we're a little bit below that, so we understand what it is. So, but we're working really hard. The team is coming back a little bit fitness-wise, so that's a good thing. And I think the schedule helped a bit, having a little bit more days to prepare these games, so that should help.
Are you feeling, as a team within that dressing room, that the rhythm is coming back, the confidence you can tell is coming back?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, we had moments that we played well, other moments was a bit less. But, it's been a hard season for us, but I feel like it was a bit better. So it's a bit of an improvement, but we understand and we know that it still has to be better. But yeah, we took the points and we can work further on.
Can I ask then, when you say that you realise what you've done in the last 10 years or so, have you been too hard on yourselves in this position that you found yourselves in this season? Have you been putting yourself down too much?
It's in the nature of the competition. You don't put yourself down too much. We understand what it takes to be at this club, to be at this level, and we have not been at this level this year for the moment. So we understand we have to do better, but obviously you also comprehend a little bit how hard it actually was. It doesn't. Everybody said our City is winning all the time. It must be easy. It's not. It's hard work, and we're working hard now to get back to that level. So that's the only thing we can do.
And we know the position that you're in, and the month we're now in as well. Are you just keeping your options open despite the noise that's going on around you?
Well, I don't care. I just. Trying to get back to my level. I feel every week I'm getting better. Fitness-wise, I'm getting better. I'm able to run now the 90 minutes, and it's been an uncomfortable couple of months, with the injury. But I'm getting better. I think I'm performing better and better. So that's it.
Yeah, there's nothing better to see Kevin De Bruyne in his prime, and he's working his way back to that. Very measured in that interview, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good interview. Didn't bite on January or anything like that. And it's about, I think he was appreciating what they've done over the last 10 years and how hard that is to do and how much dedication and how much that actually takes out of you. And maybe the levels have dropped just because a little bit of tiredness. Obviously, that squad is largely the same that have guided Manchester City through all these victorious last 5 years. Whereas this year, just maybe a little bit of tiredness crept in.
Yeah.
I think with that, Manish, it's a great point, Glenn, because no one's experienced what it's like to do 4 on the spin, and how many they have won. Was it 6 now? 7?
Yeah.
And the mentality and the physicality you have to keep that going is unbelievable. You could see it there. That's why he said he's a little bit disappointed at the fans. Why were they so upset that he scored a goal? What do they expect? They're going through a phase, and I'm sure they'll get through it. But there's still a lot of work to be done at City in respect of what's going on.
Absolutely, and they had to show some mental strength because West Ham did start strongly, and City had to weather that storm before they took the lead, with Savinho playing a big role here.
Yeah, he done very well. There's a lot of talk about him not long ago that he hadn't had a goal, he hasn't had an assist, but he seemed to have Soufal on toast there, and in the end, Soufal not close enough. And then the shot, obviously, the deflection helps him, but he's been very positive in this game. He's been very positive.
Yeah. Would you say this is one of his best outings in a City shirt?
Without doubt. Yeah. And I think ever from that point there, that little bit of luck that possibly needed to get started, I thought he grew in confidence and got better and better. The way he brings this ball down, gets round Kafar, he leaves him for dead here as he gets round him. And then this delivery is world class. And this is what Pep Guardiola would have wanted more of when he signed him. It's maybe just find his feet in the Premier League, takes some players longer than others. But this ball is absolutely wonderful, and it makes Erling Haaland's job very, very easy, doesn't it, Ian?
I think what was good about that, Glenn, you made a good point, is that he didn't even look up once he went past Soufal, you could see that he's just put that into an area. Brilliant.
Into the second half, and Holland then got his second.
Yeah,
very much a trademark goal of his.
Yeah, that's what he does. And to be honest, Savinho does very well. Beautiful finish. You know what I mean? Didn't doubt him once he got into that position. But I think that the pass was perfect from Savinho. It's got Mahrez vibes about it, but that's nice. That's really nice what he's done there.
I mean, the goalkeeper makes a bit of an error. He gets caught in no man's land, makes it a little bit easier for Haaland, but when he gets in there, you expect him to score, and he's back on track for the season.
City got West Ham rattled at this point, and they got the fourth soon after the third. Phil Foden. West Ham not helping themselves here.
That was just poor from Kudos there. And they're probably at the stage when you look at this pass, it's very sloppy from him. You know, he's got so much space to pass that into and make it or keep the ball. But I suppose by now they're out on their feet, and it's a very easy finish for Phil Foden in the end.
Yeah. And of course, it's only a Premier League goal of the season, and it equals their biggest win of this league campaign. So many positives, right, from Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, listen, there is positives, but there was still massive frailties there, and a better, more ruthless team would have punished Manchester City earlier on in the game. So let's not look at that 4-1 scoreline and think it was an easy afternoon. It was far from it.
Yeah, and Pep Guardiola will be disappointed that they didn't hold on with a clean sheet. Nicholas Füllkrug. I suppose in the end there was a brief glimmer of hope, but of course with so little time left, this proved to be a consolation.
Yeah, it did, but again, I think that when you're trying to get through the kind of bad run that they had been on, you do want to try and keep clean sheets. It helps, it makes you feel more confident. But again, the way they passed through them there is what was happening in the first half. They just weren't getting the shots on target. The final ball weren't great, but in that instance they got it right, but it's too late.
Yeah, they had 17 shots across the 90 minutes.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that
reflects more badly on City, right?
Yeah, and that ultimately speaks volumes because, like I say, if you're up against a more ruthless side or a striker in form, say, then obviously they're going to convert more of those chances. Fortunately for Manchester City, there was no Bowen today.
Yeah.
They've managed that.
Yeah, I think so. I understand that in terms of kind of confidence. That can only take you so far. If there's obvious limitations within the squad, it doesn't matter how confident you are within your head, what you think you can do. If you're physically not capable of doing those things, it's going to be exposed. And I thought we saw that in periods of the game today. West Ham would be scratching their heads. They'd be disappointed in the dressing room after the game, saying we really should have been close to this match. It was an opportunity for us today to really get something from this game. Just weren't clinical enough in the final third of the pitch.
They're 1 point off the top 5, only 2 points off the top 4 now. Chelsea are after dropping points today. So, title challenge, I think everyone accepts. That's a bit of a stretch, even though I was trying to talk them in, saying they were still in it a few weeks back, Damien. But in terms of Champions League, they're right in the mix for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they will get top 4 this year, They had a really tough spell, and that's at the top of the show. I spoke about the lack of confidence that's crept into Man City, and they're like everyone else, they're human. And they did lose a lot of confidence. And like anybody, you've lost confidence, oh yeah, we all have. It doesn't come back all of a sudden. You work your way back into it, inch by inch, foot by foot, metre by metre, whatever it might be. And today was an important step for them. You have to do the right things and keep hoping, and then all of a sudden something goes your way, i.e. West Ham missing a few chances today, and then Savinho's deflection. I think that was a crucial moment where you think West Ham would be devastated they were 1-0 down, because they created 2 or 3 really good opportunities to go in front. Didn't take them, keeper made a save, poor finishing. All of a sudden Savinho with a awful shot crossed, it deflected in, and all of a sudden there's one of those inches I'm talking about. Your mindset starts changing. Then they get the second one. Now the mindset really starts getting in. So the next game they play and the next game they play until they get back to their very best, and I think they are human. They're like everybody. You have to build confidence, and that today was an important building block for them.
But I still think the very best out of this particular team, collectively, you're getting the very best out of this team. At best, it's a top 4 position, and it's not a Champions League. So this team isn't good enough, can't win the Champions League for me. It's just not good enough. The defensive structure is not there.
Yeah,
They're too open. At the tail, now you can tiptoe your way in the Champions League to a quarter final, maybe even a semi-final. But when the games come around against the real juggernauts, whether it's kind of Liverpool's, Real Madrid's, teams like that, any kind of frailties get exposed. And this team have too many frailties.
I think we all accept that. Everyone knows. I think Pep, if in his quiet moments with the staff, that's why I said at the top of the show, they've probably written this season off in terms of winning Champions League, Premier League. Right, let's get ready for next year. Let's put the plans in place. Let's sign players that we can, in January, hopefully, if not end of the season, we start moving. So you write it off. I mean, they've won 5 and 6. So this is going to be the ultimate transitional year for them. It was probably worse than they ever expected insofar as the amount of players that fell off and lost form. So next year they'll come back firing. So I think top 4 they'll get just by these types of performance and inching their way. They're not going to do any damage in the Premier League. Maybe nick an FA Cup or something, you know, maybe second.
Oh, windshield. Some domestic.
give them something.
Leyland Daff.
West Ham, what about them? We seem to be having the same conversation about Lopetegui every time we do them. And that's 9 goals they've conceded in the last couple of games. It seems like he remains under pressure despite their little run earlier in December.
Must be a tailspin being a West Ham fan, because you know you had it so good for so long. You know, now you're kind of going in another direction with a new manager. Whether the fans asked for that or wished for that, as Gary said in commentary, I don't know. But like, they've put in some good performances. Today, I thought it was a reasonable performance. Going to Man City, you'd be reasonably happy. It's a tough sell to the fans. You can't come out and say that because you've lost 4-1. But I think when they do their staff review and they do their Monday morning review, I think you'll sit back and say, look at all this good stuff that we did. So you're taking that in. It's just, unfortunately, he's new to a job and he needs to earn that respect of those West Ham fans.
He's never quite got there, has he?
He will do. I think he's a reasonable manager. Sorry, he's a good manager, and he's doing a reasonable job in his first year at West Ham.
Where are you on him and them?
Yeah, I think he's under a little bit of pressure, but I think they'll back him to a point. And I think this is key for him, the window. He needs a couple of players in. He's got to get his recruitment right. Even only 2 or 3 players. We're spoken about kind of centre forward. I understand that Evan Ferguson or Ray and other would certainly help them. Antonio being out for obvious reasons, maybe Fulkrug carrying an injury or whatever. Still think central midfield. Talking about Manchester City centre midfield, for me, they're crying out for that kind of holding midfield. A bit of somebody gives them a bit of physical presence, somebody with a real kind of defensive mindset. Alvarez's form is not good enough in there. So just a couple of 2 or 3 key signings. I'm sure that's what he's going to the boss saying, back me during the window. Give me those 2 or 3 signings and I can turn this around.
What's that, Kenny? Yeah, I did correctly predict a 4-1 win for Manchester City today.
83 shows I worked out we've done over the last 4 years.
I'm finally there.
Fair play, yeah.
What a day. Back
Northern Lights, at some point you'll get a glimpse of them.
See you in a sec.
Welcome back. So we're at half-time in our feature match on Goal Rush. Manchester City looking for back-to-back league wins for the first time since October. They're halfway there. Savinho's played a big part in the first 45, enforcing an own goal, first of all.
Yeah, he's done very well today. You know, there's a lot of questions about him, about his contribution, but today he's given Soufal a really tough time when running at him. And in this instance, he's not close enough. He just sticks out a leg there. And, you know, he's fortunate enough to get the luck. But, yeah, he's causing him a lot of problems over there. Doesn't know whether to get tight. And when he should be tighter, like now, he should get closer to him. Now, you know, he's got the luck his games deserve today, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's asking questions of Soufal, but a massive stroke of luck there. Yeah. And that was against run of play, wasn't it?
Absolutely it has been.
Yeah.
West Ham have been very good in this.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that came against the run of play because West Ham started so well. But then Savinho in on the act for the second, this time for Haaland, and the ball was crying to be headed home, wasn't it, Glenn?
Well, it's all about the ball, and what I really like about this from a Manchester City point of view is the ball's gone in early, and Wright will tell you when defenders are sat in looking out, it's really hard to get on the end of things because they're comfortable. Yep. This one, defenders running back to their goal, it creates space. And this is one of the first times I've seen City and Savinho, for that matter, put a ball in so early and look what it causes. And this is ultimately what Erling Haaland thrives on. If you keep doing that, he'll keep scoring goals.
Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. He must be delighted. You could see in the celebration as well, the way he said to him, well done, he's almost like, look at it, look.
Yeah.
He said, well, thanks a lot, it's about time.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like that vibe.
His 20th goal in all competitions this season for Erling Haaland. We talk about the fast start from your former club, West Ham. Mm-hmm. I mean, 7 shots they had, but none on target. That would be frustrating. Very
frustrating, especially when you look that they've done very, very well to get through the Manchester City press. I think that, for me, it's very tough for him. He's not gone quick enough once he's got on it. We don't know if he's going to get on the right foot and get the shot off quick enough, but they've done this very, very well. They've broken through the midfield, and then it's these instances. You know, can they get that shot on target? Again, you'd like to see more players up front, but now the touch isn't great. He's off balance, and you know, just a little bit more composure for me from West Ham in those areas.
Is that when they're missing Jared Bowen?
Oh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I feel with him, he would have made a difference there. But Somerville and Kudos, those willing runners, and they'll be sat in that changing room at half-time, and they'll be licking their wounds because that's a false scoreline for me. West Ham would be much better than to be 2-0 down.